With the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, it showcased that Tsumiki is probably the game master of the calling games, as she added a rule to allow free entry and exit from each colonies, as this stuns everybody as what they have heard, as Tsumiki added this rule. So in the beginning of the chapter, Maki met up with Yuji, Megumi, and Angel to inform them the details on what's going on with Chozo and Yuki and Tegan, as they confirm that Tegan has been captured by Kenjaku and they're about to prepare to do the merger. Yuki's dead and Chozo survived, but he didn't leave the location out of empty hand because he actually got the back of the Prism Realm, and so they are here and ready to free. But you know, with the whole Fallen Angel Sukuna thing where they have to defeat him so that they can free Gojo, we'll have to take prior first. So while they're focusing on this conversation, they're wondering why Kenjaku hasn't done the merger yet since he's automatically won. Because in the first page of this chapter, you can see that a large amount of cursed energy is flowing throughout all of the colonies that's around Japan, which causing a huge shift from everyone who are non-sorcerers because they start to feel an omen of death. And even like the shading, that you can just see that there is like a dark shading taking over people, but they're not noticing it because, you know, they can't see curses or anything like that. So they go on ahead and focus on the rule. So Megumi wants to go ahead and add the rule where we can substitute another player while trying to take another player out. So it's just like you have one player in the calling games and then you want them out, so you switch them with another person that's not in the calling games to take their place. And so as they're discussing this, but at first they want to go ahead and see if they can go ahead and have people exit out of the calling games or enter out. But Maki informed them that this rule, we can't add that rule at first because of the fact of each barrier operate things differently. One barrier of the colonies probably might reject that offering, even though it's part of the rules. So as of this moment, let's go ahead with Megumi's original plan and just find a substitute for the players who wants out. So Megumi, he wants to go ahead and try to see what rules he can add. So he start adding a rule saying players must withdraw from the calling games, which Kogen rejected this, which is a conflict of Rule 7. So then we see that Megumi, he tries to add another rule saying that a player may withdraw from the calling games by inviting a new player from the outside of the colonies as a substitute. But Kogen goes on ahead and he rejected that. So then Kogen goes on ahead and try to do a negotiation with Megumi and says that it is possible for a proposal to add an additional rule to the colonies. So a player may withdraw from the colonies by inviting a new player outside of the colonies as a substitute by spending 100 points. Is that acceptable? And at first, Megumi was just like, no, I don't like this idea. But then they have no other choice. So he's just like, fine, let's go ahead and add this. So they added the rule and they found a replacement for Tsumiki, which is Ichigi. And so Ichigi, he goes on ahead and tells Maki, hey, so I had this story where Gojo, he told me don't be a sorcerer because I suck at it. And so as he's telling this story, we see that Tsumiki is with Maki and Ichigi, and they go on ahead and they do the switch where she automatically appears at Megumi's colonies. So while she's appearing, she's saying like, oh, Megumi, how are you? I miss you, all that stuff, which we can already see, you know, Megumi, he's just being like, you know, the cold-hearted person, and you can automatically can tell like Yuji and Angel, they're both just laughing at Megumi. So then he's just like, all right, so add this rule and we can go ahead and get you out of here. But then as soon as she got the 100 points, this is where she added the rule where she pretty much stated to enter and exit out of colonies freely. At this moment of that text, it doesn't imply that players are allowed to go and enter and out, but it just heavily kind of speculated that she can enter and exit out of the colonies. Saying the chapter just ends as she's looking sinister, as Megami is just looking stunned and he's just wondering, like, who are you? But it wasn't a shocker that Tsumiki was going to betray Megami and Yuji, thanks to the fact of that is that she was one of the people who ate the cursed object and actually have the past sorcerers actually overtake her body, because we saw like how the past sorcerers made deals with Kenjaku, like Kashimo, how he made a deal with Kenjaku so that way he can go ahead and fight Sukuna, where this past sorcerer is probably the game master and is working with Kenjaku so that way he could be revived as well. And honestly, adding that rule will automatically help Kenjaku do his plan for the merger, because Kenjaku, he is not the game master. So of course, we probably are seeing the game master. And plus two, when we saw Tsumiki actually woke up, we saw the curse mark on her forehead. So it's probably the past sorcerer that's overtaking her body. But I don't know. We'll find out in next week's chapter what's going to happen. And also, as well, it's going to be very interesting to see Angel, because one of her reasons of joining the calling games was to automatically stop and send those past sorcerers who got reincarnated back to the other world. So we're going to see her abilities try to go ahead and do that. But other than that, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this chapter. What is your guys' favorite thoughts, moments? And if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is the Monotone Man, and hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.